The Irish government has approved a redevelopment plan for Dublin's General Post Office, the site of major historical significance. The plan includes new retail space, office area, and an events venue within the GPO building. They're positioning this as a broader strategy to reinvigorate the city. But instead of actually enhancing public nighttime transport access or licensing restrictions, the proper redeveloping of derelict sites with community need in mind, they want to turn the GPO into a mall, somewhere to stash American capitalist cash. It's a UK developer, and it's a €500 million project.
And hoist the green flag over Dublin Castle. Unless you organise a socialist republic, all your efforts will have been in vain. And England will still rule you through our landlords, capitalists, and commercial institutions. Thank you, Mr. Connolly.
The 1916 proclamation promised us equal rights, equal opportunities for all citizens. A government based on the welfare of the whole people, and an end to English exploitation of Ireland. Now you want to make the GPO a mall, Simon? What the fuck?
Firstly, do not flatten James Connolly and the Irish Citizens' Army to simple nationalists. The movement was explicitly socialist, anti-imperialist. James Connolly was a Marxist organiser, a trade union organiser. The Citizens' Army formed after the Dublin lockouts. They wanted deindustrialised democracy, land reform, local workers' rights. The GPO is the physical space where Ireland's socialist republicanism was declared and defended. There are bullet holes in the wall from the people who died protecting us from British imperial rule and subordination. The nationalist state emerging after 1922 is told to censor itself, marginalise socialist memory, and push this Catholic nationalist control. Our state narratives like to flatten the Easter Rising to a patriotic green event stripped of its working class content. We talk about the military and the tricolour and our freedom. But what is at the core of the proclamation are anti-capitalist demands, a removal of the bourgeoisie British fucking landlords. The developer of the shopping centre is Hammerson PLC, a British company. Wants to take over the 5.5 acre site on O'Connell Street and turn it into a mixed housing work culture quarter. So, flats you can't afford, another capitalist shrine, shopping centre, and a vague promise from a UK developer of a sensitive regeneration. It's blatant commercial encroachment on our nationalist labour movement. It's a fucking insult, to be honest. It's all washed with this sustainability packaging bullshit for investors. Net 30. We're going to have 36 car spaces for electric vehicles, you know. At the GPO? Why? The whole fucking city should have been pedestrianised with metros going everywhere. Like, what is this? Oh, but we're bringing jobs, we promise. 9,000 jobs in low-value retail positions. Are you going to protect those workers from these multinational corporations that are going to come on in here and open up their vendors? No. While this may not be a big deal in the grand scheme of things, a shopping centre is planned for Dublin, I feel like it's one of 1 million punches I've had to take in the side of the head off this Fine Gael government. Just born at the wrong time, I suppose. This is so symbolic. In 1981, Section 23 tax incentives, labelled urban renewal, turned Dublin housing and city land into a tax shelter for private investors. In 1987, the IFSC is created in Custom House, and this locks the city's East End into a finance-led growth plan that requires the building of lots of office blocks The IDA pitched this to US and UK banks, but there's never any housing quota. By 1997, there's been successive urban renewal schemes, and they've all had 100% interest relief. So private developers, speculators, and global financiers build loads of office blocks and buy-to-let properties. By 2003, vacancy is past 20%, while council housing output falls below 1,000 units. In 2009, we meet NAMA, who's set up to take on all these distressed loans. So agencies sold parts of the docklands and other strategic land get sold to these overseas investors at a bulk discount, cementing these buy-to-rent pipelines in Dublin. No one will ever own any of this again, except these people. Apparently, that's the structure. Unless you inherit it, you'll never live in there. It becomes the Dockland Strategic Development Zone, and in 2017, strategic housing development is fast-tracked, gives Onboard Penalta power to override local plans so they can go taller. In 2018, build to rent guidelines get published. This has become normal now. And developments get measured, calculated on their investment based on things like how many car parking spaces are legally minimally required in an apartment block, which is where you start to get into Grenfell thinking. Dublin office vacancy is above 15%. That's above the natural rate, yet new towers still pre-let to multinationals. New social homes built by Dublin City Council in 2024, 35 units of their own target of 80 units. So the council met less than half of its own shit goal. So the city is empty, right? These buildings are empty, and yet you could 35 houses in a year from Dublin City Council, trying to meet a 2,300 unit shortfall in the national goal. Most people would prefer to live in cities, mostly. So now average dockland rent is 2,500-3,000 a month, and I'd say that's quite conservative, to be honest. Dublin Inquirer figure. So there's a load of empty daytime surplus and nighttime residential scarcity, and a long habit of prioritising the invitation of foreign owners, investors, and REIT funds just to like validate the government's modern identity. First, in the 60s, this was to London insurers. Then it was US tech. Now we're back to UK real estate developers. Gresham House, Hammerson's. In Ireland, land is still treated like a commodity. It wasn't yours to sell in 1916, and it isn't now. Who honestly has the power to sanction the redevelopment of the GPO? Irish planning has been developed to attract mobile capital. They turned housing and office space into an asset class. So there's city vacancy in the double digits, but we desperately need a Starbucks in the GPO.